back in Charlotte as we get set for the coin toss, and the former Carolina Panther Julius Peppers shaking hands with former teammates as we get set for the coin toss. Mike Carey is our referee today.
So much fun talking to Julius Peppers last night. Wow. Greatest player in the history of the Carolina Panthers in my mind. No question about it. Now a bear. Kind of strange.
All right. Julius gets to call it.
Tails.
Is that a sign?
Well, he wanted to play defense.
Okay.
He called that on purpose.
There you go.
That was planned.
So here we go. The return of Julius Peppers, second player drafted overall in 2002. 8 years here in Carolina, 5 times a Pro Bowl man, and helped lead the Panthers to the Super Bowl one time after the 2004 season. Great day here in Charlotte. 81 degrees, low humidity, light wind. Oh, you can't ask for a better day. It is beautiful.
Couple things to keep our early eyes on. Chicago offensive line changes. They got the 2 young players over on the right side. There's Mike Tice, the offensive line coach. Where's Julius Peppers on the other side defensively for the Chicago Bears, and how will the Carolina Panthers match up to him? And then, of course, the Carolina rookies. Got to watch their production. A lot of speed now. They may make mistakes with Geddes and LaFell, but I guarantee you their mistakes, Sam, at 100 miles an hour.
And you had a look at young Jimmy Clausen. He's making his 3rd NFL start. He is the future, as you said. Last week in the second half looked like he was playing a little bit better against New Orleans, but Carolina couldn't make a couple of big plays late in the game. Lost the game 16-14. Couldn't get in position to try and kick a winning field goal.
Yeah, but you know what? He gave them a chance to win at the end. They were in the mix because of ball security. They didn't turn it over only once, and it was on special teams. That will be a big one to look at today. Ball security for Carolina offensively. The Bears always dominant in taking it away.
Carolina deferred, so we'll see the Bears on offense. Reese Lloyd will kick it off. Danielle Manning is deep for the Bears, and here we go. Manning, line drive kick at the goal line. 3 blockers in front of him. He breaks through for a big one. Reese Lloyd trying to slow him down. Manning stays on his feet, caught from behind inside the 40-yard line. Great return by the speedy safety Danielle Manning, one of the top return men in the NFL. And he was caught by Mike Goodson from behind.
Always been a huge fan. Look, there's nobody down there. Why is there nobody down there? Because it was a line drive low kick. So Danielle Manning was already on his horse running, and the coverage units were not even halfway to him down the football field. So partly a bad kick, but that guy is electric, Danielle Manning.
62-yard return. Now from the 38, Matt Forte runs into a pile, gets about a yard, maybe 2. Inside the 37-yard line. There is Todd Collins, who last started in 2007 with the Washington Redskins. Matt Forte, expect him to run the ball. We'll see a lot of Chester Taylor. The offensive line, Jamarcus Webb making his first NFL start. Edwin Williams had a couple of starts when he was with Washington. 2 tight ends on the field. Forte carrying, not much there, bounces it outside and turns the corner. Good run by Matt Forte. A first down at the Carolina 23-yard line. Dan Connor chased him out. Forte is strong and quick.
Well, and the Bears need to run the football. And you'll watch, they've got Forte boxed up right here, but he pops out, and there's no corner support. See, Jordan Pugh is coming off the edge. He fights inside and just loses contain. Great job by Forte, who has got very, very good vision. These guys have got to run the ball today. Jay Cutler, Mike Martz. Look for some balance, Sam, by this offensive line and this offense.
3 wide receivers in. Collins with a little slant to Devin Hester. He's got it, and he's down at the 18-yard line. A pickup of 5 on the play. Check out Carolina on defense. They play a 4-3. No more Julius Peppers there. They'll try to get pass rush from Charles Johnson. The linebackers are excellent. James Anderson, a big game against New Orleans last week with 15 tackles. The rookie Jordan Pugh starting for the injured Sherrod Martin, who's out with a concussion. Toss to Forte. By himself, he turns the corner. And he's in. Touchdown. The Bears wanted to run the ball a lot more than they did last week. And Matt Forte with a couple of big runs on this drive.
Well, and this is something, if you watch on tape, you'll see the crash down right here, which is going to give the edge on the flip 90. See, John Beeson, who's got outside contained, because Tyler Brayton was crashing down, took a bad angle. That's called the old flip 90, where it's just weak. You flip it out to the weakness of the defense, and then Forte turned on the juice for the touchdown.
First rushing touchdown of the season for the Chicago Bears, and the first in their last 9 games going back to last season. Robbie Gould for the extra point. It started with a 62-yard kickoff return by Danielle Manning. It set it up, and then Matt Forte did the hard running and took it in from 18 yards for the touchdown.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
After the touchdown, head coach John Fox trying to keep his defense up.
Yeah, and all young guys. You see that? And talking to Danny Connor, Jordan Pugh, little reverse psychology. Look, guys, it didn't start good. John, you were in great position to make a play. We called the right defense. He took a bad angle, mental error. Forte takes it to the house.
The rookie Mike Goodson is back deep for Carolina. Low line drive kick is taken by the up man, and it is taken out of bounds by Eric Norwood. Defensive end and linebacker, but decent field position for Carolina's Jimmy Clausen. The rookie out of Notre Dame leads his team onto the field. D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, a 1-2 running combination for Carolina. That's big. You saw the 2 rookie wide receivers starting. The offensive line strong on the left side. Jordan Gross will see a lot of his good friend, Julius Peppers. 2 tight ends, Jeff King and Dante Rosario. Open up for Carolina. D'Angelo Williams looking for room. Nothing there. Lance Briggs wraps him up. No gain on the play at the 39-yard line. Brings up a 2nd and 10 for Carolina. The Bears defense, the 4-3. It's led by Julius Peppers. They're looking for someone else to jump out and help them out up front. Linebackers are superb. Briggs and Urlacher playing well, so is Pisatino Samoa. Chris Harris started with the Bears, went to Carolina for 3 years, is back with the Bears. Gary Barnage, tight end motions. Big hole for D'Angelo Williams. And he is brought down inside the Bears 40 by Danielle Manning, the safety. And that's what makes him so dangerous. He hits the hole. It was a good one.
Well, and a great call to go opposite. Look at all the guys over here. All the Bears, look at you, clearly got room here. You get one block, and D'Angelo is going to be off to the races. And there's the block right there. Fiametta with a very good block. Travell Wharton is going to seal on the inside linebacker, Lance Briggs. And then D'Angelo Williams taking it down past the 40-yard line.
23-yard run down to the 38. It's Williams again. Going the other side, he breaks a tackle, and it takes 3 Bears to bring him down at the 32-yard line. Tim Jennings, the first man to wrap him up, but he needed help.
Well, we all remember Brad Hoover. Brad Hoover's gone now. Now it's Tony Fiametta, and he's going to get a good block right here on the edge. Watch, right on the perimeter. Bang. He gets the block, kicks out Briggs, and then it opens up the hole to where Jennings has got to peel back inside, and it ends up being a 6 or a 7-yard gain.
Jonathan Stewart is in, replacing D'Angelo Williams on 2nd and 4. And they stop the play. Looks like a false start against Carolina.
False start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty to the 2nd.
That's the right tackle, Jeff Schwartz. Schwartz starting at right tackle in place of Jeff Ota, who hasn't been out on the field yet. He's been out injured. If Ota gets back, Schwartz would move inside to right guard.
Correct. And they missed Jeff Ota. I mean, one thing, that the strength of this team, you go back to last year, there's Ota right there, who had a setback with his knee right before training camp. The strength of this team has clearly always been the run game.
2nd and 9. Jonathan Stewart stumbled and gets hit hard and thrown back. Chris Harris with the first hit. Pisatino Samoa with help for Chris Harris.
You're going to see Chris Harris really and listed as a safety, and that's what he is. He's a strong safety, very, very good tackler. Was here in Carolina for 3 years, then back to Chicago where he started his career. He's got his little cowboy collar on, that little neck roll. He'll be playing a lot of in the box today with Carolina, liking to run the football with a fullback on the field. We've already seen that. You'll see a lot of Chris Harris up in the combat zone trying to make tackles in the run game.
There's 3rd and 8. And they run it again, and Jonathan Stewart gets down to the 11-yard line. Carolina staying with the ground game. A great 1-2 punch of D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. This is a 24-yard run.
Very good block by Bernardo. Watch, they're going to catch Melton in a slant. Bernardo's going to block down on him, and watch the crease. You see that? Bang. And then you get Ryan Khalil, gets a real good block on the guard. They kick it down with Bernardo, and then Khalil with a block. 5 straight runs, gashing the Bears defense.
They haven't thrown the ball. Even get us in motion. Draw play to D'Angelo Williams. Urlacher wraps him up. Gain of a yard on the play. Good job by Carolina running the football.
I think you go back to their first 4 games, and sustaining drives has been a huge problem for them. One of the worst teams in the league at 3 and outs. More than 50% of their drives have ended in 3 and outs. So getting Jimmy Clausen in a nice little game rhythm, not throwing the ball, but a game rhythm to his running backs will take pressure off of him later for the play action pass game.
Tommy Harrison, a defensive tackle for the Bears on 2nd and 9. Here's Williams again, cuts it back, was hit by Peppers, falls forward to the 8-yard line.
There's the number I was talking about, Sam. With the 46 possessions on offense, 24 of them have ended in 3 and outs, 3 plays or less.
And they've had 5 10-play drives, end up with no points.
And there's issues to that. Obviously, you don't get continuity, but when it's 3 and out, you don't get any adjustments on the sideline for your defense.
Henry Melton in at defensive tackle for the Bears. 8th play of this drive for Carolina, all on the ground. D'Angelo Williams wrapped up by Lance Briggs, who took him down at the 6-yard line, and that'll bring up a 4th down. So they didn't put the ball in the air at all on the drive. On a 3rd and long, they didn't put it up, they ran it. Briggs comes off limping a little bit after being involved in that play, making the tackle. John Casey comes out to attempt the field goal. It's a 24-yard try. He's 3 for 3 this season. Left footer puts it right through. Carolina has not scored a touchdown in the first quarter this season. It's only the 2nd field goal they've scored all season long in the first.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Back in Charlotte, where the Bears lead the Carolina Panthers 7-3. Jimmy Clausen handing the ball off 8 times on that drive. Jeff Davidson, the offensive coordinator. Interesting approach to the start of the game. Good kickoff coverage thus far this season for Carolina, up until Danielle Manning gashed him for a 62-yard return.
Yeah, Reese Lloyd needs to get some air under this one. The problem on the last one, Sam, was a line drive kick. Coverage could not get down the field.
This one is much higher and deeper. Manning, 4 yards deep, brings it out with a blocker in front of him. He's got room to run, but ran into Gary Barnidge, who took him down. Actually, it was Eric Norwood who made the tackle, but a good return, 37 yards. That's the touchdown for the Bears.
Today's game is sponsored by the new Ford Edge. The world has never seen a crossover quite like this. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by Warner Brothers Pictures Hereafter. In theaters everywhere October 22nd.
Bears start from the 32-yard line. 3 wide receivers. Johnny Knox, Earl Bennett, and Devin Aromashadu. Todd Collins checking off with Matt Forte as running back. It's Forte cutting it back. Gets some room. Forte turns it into a big one. The chase is on. Forte will win the race. Touchdown. 68 yards. The Chicago Bears had no rushing touchdowns coming into this game this season. Matt Forte has put 2 on the board. A career long in regular season for Matt Forte.
Here's the key here, Godfrey. Todd Collins changes the play over here. Godfrey hits it there, and it's a cutback right to where he's supposed to be. Really a good job by Todd Collins. Say, okay, you're going to put Godfrey down in the box. We'll run it the opposite way. And then they ended up cutting right back to where Godfrey should have been.
Extra point is through. The Bears have had the ball twice on offense, and they put 14 points on the board. All by Matt Forte with 2 touchdown runs. This one was 68 yards. Matt Forte had the great rookie season, rushed for over 1,200 yards. Last year with injuries, he was down. Slow start this year because they weren't giving him the ball that much. They were throwing the ball.
Yeah, and you can obviously tell by looking at him here early in this game versus what he was last year. He was never healthy last year. I know his hamstring, his knee. He was having other issues all year long that were being kept quiet.
He's got 101 yards already on 4 carries. On the return, the rookie Mike Goodson. With great speed, he gets outside, spun around, and goes out of bounds as he crossed the 30-yard line. Julius Peppers back on defense against his former team as the Bears have the early lead. Last week against the Giants, the Bears netted 110 yards total offense. They got almost that already to start the game, 106.
Yeah, look at that play selection last week. 20 runs, or 20 passes to only 7 runs. They got no points out of it.
Uh-oh. Panthers mishandling the snap, but Jimmy Clausen fell on top. Loss of a yard on the play.
So think about that. 20 passes, 7 runs in the first half last week. Sacked 9 times against the Giants. And it wasn't like the Giants had all their bigs in there. I mean, they had some sub-package guys in there, which means the nickel units, more DBs, and still were unable to run it. And weren't committed to it. Clearly committed to it today. You see the contrast in the numbers, and they got 14 points to show for it.
Jonathan Stewart at running back carries on the block of Tony Fiametta, but no gain. It was shut down by Israel Adonijay. Let's get an update on what the Packers are doing. Let's go to Kurt Menefee.
Good before the bad for Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers hooking up with Donald Lee on a 5-yard touchdown for a 7-0 lead against the Redskins. But Lee has left the game with a shoulder injury. He was playing because Jermichael Finley had to leave the game with a knee injury. Sam and Tim?
Oof, I hate that.
Well, those injuries for Green Bay,
wow.
And they have piled up over the last couple of weeks. They are a mash unit.
3 wide receivers in. Amani Edwards, former quarterback at Appalachian State, is in at a pass block, and it falls. Did Peppers catch it? The Bears are saying they got it, and the officials say they got it.
Oh, yeah,
Julius Peppers with the block and the interception. What a play.
Yeah, an incredible play. He had 6 interceptions here as a Carolina Panther. Watch what he does here. They try to chop him out here on the right side. Jeff Schwartz, is going to try to chop him. Pep's going to get right back up and get his hand up. Boom. Right there. There's that low throw. Launch point by Clausen, and then Pep just concentrating, staying with it. Left arm up. Bang. Now I'm going to look at the football down to my knees and come up with the catch, the interception.
Bears at the Panthers 27. Chester Taylor in, but they go end around to Devin Hester. Picks up a block and is pushed out of bounds at the 17-yard line. What a play by a tremendous athlete. We know he's a great football player and a top defensive end. He's a great athlete.
I think he's the best athlete ever to play defensive end in pro football, and there's been some great ones, no question. This guy's 300 pounds now. He came in at 283. He's 300 pounds, and look at the agility.
Oh, man.
The ability to stay with it.
Bears with the ball to Panthers 17. Chester Taylor. It's inside the 15. Good tackle by the safety, Charles Godfrey. The other factor on that play, Tim, is Jimmy Clausen throws a low ball.
Well, he does. He's got a low ball, and he's got the release comes right off his shoulder. And not only that, it's a big, deliberate windup. So it takes him a while to start his windup and get to the launch of the football. He had 3 blocked and batted down last week against against the New Orleans Saints. The more he understands the offense like Drew Brees and understands where to move around in the pocket and swim to the open lanes, that number will be reduced.
2nd and 7 for the Bears. Taylor, the running back. Fake the delay, and Collins passes blocked. Outstanding play by Charles Johnson, the defensive end. Johnson with good penetration.
He's mad Todd Collins held him when he was trying to get to the pick. He's the best pass rusher here since Pep has left. Charles Johnson is the guy that's got to step up and be the guy to generate the pass rush. Unblocked right there. Good read, not buying the power look with the backside guard pulling and accelerated to the quarterback.
5 defensive backs in for Carolina. On 3rd and 7. Collins completes to Earl Bennett. Short gain down to the 10-yard line. And the field goal kicking unit comes on for the Bears. Jordan Pugh, the rookie safety, wrapped up Earl Bennett. Not many passes thrown in this game. Todd Collins 2 for 3. Jimmy Clausen 0 for 1. Bears will attempt a 28-yard field goal. Robbie Gould will attempt it out of the hold of Brad Maynard. Patrick Manley, the long snapper. Gould 7 for 8 this season. And every time they've touched the ball, the Bears have put points on the board. 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and the Bears have a 17-3 lead here in the first quarter. Well, you know, the baseball playoffs are ongoing. Divisional series in the National League. Both of them still alive, and next Saturday there'll be only 2 remaining, and we'll have the National League Championship Series beginning right here Saturday, 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific, here on Fox. We'll take you through the NLCS on to the World Series, also on Fox. Phillies leading the Reds 2-0. The Braves and the Giants tied a game apiece. 16 years in the NFL for Todd Collins. He was called in during the summer, late in training camp by the Bears, when an injury set into Caleb Haney, who was the backup to Jay Cutler.
Yeah, he didn't get there till August 23rd. And a lot of people would think, well, the systems are going to match up from his days in Kansas City under Vermeil and Marcy together in St. Louis and all that stuff. It's the same in terms of the numbering system and the route tree, the number and you number the routes. But in terms of the concepts, it's completely different. So there's certainly been a learning curve, and you get in late with all the installation already done. It's been a challenge.
Robbie Gould's kick into the end zone. Goodson is 5 yards deep. Takes the knee for a touchback. Strong kickoff by Robbie Gould.
Let's talk about Jimmy Clausen and some of his errors and how he's got to get better at some of the details. I think when you talk about a run game like they have it here in Carolina, the detail of being secure with the handoffs. You got to be better at selling the play action stuff, the fakes, all these little details. And we've already seen a problem today with the low throws in terms of finding the open lanes to throw it. Then you certainly cannot stare down your receivers. That was an interception against Cincinnati. His eyes were locked on Steve Smith the whole way. And that'll all get better with Jimmy Clausen with Sunday reps and game experience.
Movement on the line.
False start. Offense number 47. 5-yard penalty is still first.
Jeff King, the tight end. And the false start penalty sets them back 5 yards. Panthers just haven't been scoring much. They got 14 points last week against the Saints. That was their high for the season. Yards per game, 30th in the league. The giveaways, 13, most of the league. 2 tight ends in. And D'Angelo Williams gets across the 15 to the 16-yard line. Brian Urlacher makes the tackle.
And Brian Urlacher in year 11 is playing great. You turn on the tape and you watch this guy. Here he is here. He's going to hit Jordan Gross right in the mouth right here and then make the tackle. Pow, right there, disengages, keeping his outside arm free. Clinic, textbook, run defending by Urlacher. And he's healed up, Sam. His first year off last year because of his wrist injury sets in 7th grade.
Clausen to put it up, pressure, Adonijay takes him down. The ball comes loose. And it's recovered by the Panthers. But good pressure from the other side this time by Israel Adonijay. And John Fox concerned about his offense.
Remember we talked about the play fakes. Adonijay is going to get the ball out, but play fakes and play action. Look, that's not going to sell anybody. The linebackers are already on their horses trying to backpedal and get into coverage. And then Jeff Schwartz beat by Israel Adonijay right there for a sack and a forced fumble for the big fella there, number 71.
Only the 5th sack of the season for the Bears, the 2nd for Israel Adonijay.
And they need that to improve. Julius Peppers needs help from somebody else.
Panthers have to get to the 30 for a first down. Peppers pressuring, chasing Clausen. He throws short, and it's taken out of bounds by D'Angelo Williams. Good pressure from Julius Peppers. Broke that play apart, and Carolina will be forced to punt.
Well, and wait as they start to develop other guys. Henry Melton, I think, is a guy they like in Chicago. Israel Adonijay, we just saw the sack and the forced fumble there. Julius Peppers needs help. All the great ones do. Otherwise, you just scheme them up, put 2 guys on them, and you're not worried about other guys beating your one-on-one matchup.
Jason Baker to punt it. Bears should get great field position. Line drive kick toward the sideline. Hester takes it inbounds. Brings it back down the sideline. He is going. He's trying to get by Baker, and Baker got enough of him to push him out of bounds. Otherwise, it would have been another touchdown for Devin Hester, who has had 12 in his career. He knows he was close.
I'll tell you, Jason Baker did his job. You want a directional kick. You want to get it over to the sideline. Almost had it right on the sideline. Watch this.
This is a great play.
It's a great play. Stays in bounds. One little fake inside, and now he's just sprinting down the sideline. And Baker, after the very good punt over to the side, is the one that gets him out of bounds.
50-yard return. Bears have the ball 1st and goal at the Carolina 9-yard line. Chester Taylor in the backfield. Brandon Manamalayuna lines up as the fullback. Taylor cuts it back. He's heading for the end zone. He's in. Well, no sign. I thought he was in. Taylor thinks he's in. The officials are looking at one another. Yes. Touchdown Bears. Their 3rd rushing touchdown of the game. That's a point of emphasis there, Tim.
Yeah, and they get some good blocks up front. This is what we were talking about. Edwin Williams right there. Now watch Kreutz gets to the center and the nose guard, and then Abel up to the backer. And that creates a huge crease inside for Chester Taylor. Point of emphasis, get people moved at the point of attack. It's executed perfectly today for the Bears up front.
Well, the great return game. Danielle Manning with a great kickoff return, 62 yards. Devin Hester, 50-yard punt return. And the Bears are capitalizing on the youthful mistakes of the Carolina Panthers.
You know, it's funny. In this league, when you get embarrassed, and make no bones about it, they were embarrassed on Sunday night against the Giants. It doesn't typically happen 2 weeks in a row. NFL players don't dwell on it. They forget about it. They wash it out. Tuesday, they get back, get their heads right.
Apparently a challenge by John Fox. And the play is being reviewed.
Looked like it was over there.
Well,
the ball was definitely over. It's just whether his left hip or knee or anything else hit down before the ball crossed the plane of the goal line.
And
see
now,
it better here.
The ruling in the field is the runner down on the 1-yard line and being challenged by Chicago.
Left knee was down there. Hard to tell from that angle whether the ball was across the plane when the knee touched the ground. I don't think we're going to be able to see it here either.
Well, it's under review on a Bears challenge. Now, originally, the call from the officials down at the goal line was touchdown. Two officials signaled touchdown. Then they huddled up and changed their minds, placed it at the 1-yard line. That's when Lovie Smith challenged.
Well, hard to tell, and it looks, I mean, that left knee is down. The ball from that angle does not look like it's crossed the plane of the goal line. And that really is the definitive look. It's hard. There's just, for this look right here, you can't tell because of the angle. Now, the knee's down, but is the ball across that plane of the goal line? Hard to tell from that angle. I think that last shot showed it perfectly.
And can't see
and
from
that one's hard
angle
to tell, too.
with Earl Bennett in front. Chris Gamble there as well.
I don't know how they can
Mike Carey,
overturn it based on what it was called on the field, based on the visual evidence we just saw.
What surprised me is two officials raised their arms signaling touchdown, then they changed and set it down at the 1-yard line.
After review, the runner's knee was down and the ball was short of the goal line. Second down.
Okay.
Chicago will be charged with their first team timeout.
So the ball is inside the 1-yard line. Second and goal for the Bears. We are still in the first quarter, and the Bears have scored every time they've touched the football.
And they have owned the matchup at the line of scrimmage in the run game. This Carolina defense pretty good on the year at shutting down opposing rush offenses. They got gashed pretty good at New Orleans last week, but having said that, still only 3-3 a carry. The threshold is 4. You'd like to keep runners under 4 yards. 3-3 on the season. Getting hammered pretty good today by the Bears, though, obviously.
Bears have two tight ends in. Kevin Schaefer, a tackle, is eligible on the right side. Taylor carries to the goal line. And he's short.
That ball came out.
Carolina saying that they recovered. The officials have not pointed. They've signaled third down. As the discussion goes on at the 1-yard line.
Oh, yeah. Nick Hayden, it looked like, was in on the tackle. Him and James Anderson, the Carolina Panthers, came up with it.
Still, the officials, the discussion continues. The Carolina.
Look at Charles Johnson down here, 95. Foxy's ready to throw that red flag.
They've got the defense coming back on the field. All kinds of confusion. Now John Fox is going to challenge. So lots of confusion with a play around the goal line. First, when the Bears thought they had a touchdown.
And a mass of bodies. Going to be hard to tell if this ball is coming out, but Nick Hayden is going to fire across and hit Chester Taylor.
The ruling on the field is down by contact, is being challenged by Carolina.
Yeah, see, you can't, oh boy, you can't tell if that ball was popped out or not with all the bodies.
And as always, when you talk about something like this, it's got to be definitive visual evidence to overturn the call on the field.
Yeah, I can't see that the ball's... no, it looked like he was already down. Right there, you just saw he's laying on the ground, and then it got ripped out. It looked like he was already laying on the ground under the big pile, and then someone's going to rip it out right here. See, he's got the ball. He's got the ball. Now he gets it taken from him. Yeah, that's no.
Yeah, I don't think there's
going to be Bears
anything
football
that can turn it the other way.
And, you know, that's a problem with, if you're John Fox, and I know he trusts his guys and trusts his young defense, but the defense are the ones that convince John Fox to throw that red flag.
But you know what, Tim? At 17-3 behind, he might as well. You know, with the Bears threatening to score again and break this game wide open. So the Bears have come on and come out strong.
No, they're getting their heads right, and I think part of that offensive line change with Edwin Williams, who had a very nice block on the big Forte run, and with Jamarcus Webb at right tackle, is they know there's going to be some growing pains, but they know there's upside. And if you're a Bears fan, and all the Bears fans back in Chicago know it, the cold weather's coming. You better be ready to pound the rock at the line of scrimmage, and I think what they're hoping is they can then play good enough to win games with these two rookies in there, but by the time you get November, they're playing their best ball.
Here's Mike Carey.
After review, the runner is down before the ball was stripped out of his hands. The ruling on the field is confirmed. Third down. Carolina will be charged their first team timeout.
The ball is at the 1-yard line. It'll be third and goal for the Bears. So each team using up a timeout with a challenge that was not successful. Earl Bennett in as a third wide receiver.
Watch Greg Olsen down here in the red zone. 82 left, tight end, left side of the offensive
Bennett motions. Collins wants to put it up. He has time. The pass is intercepted by Ed Johnson, the defensive tackle. How about that? And pass by Todd Collins. And the big tackle was right there.
Oh, and Mike Barnes is hot because Todd Collins had his eyes to the right side the whole way. Ed Johnson just reads the eyes. Here's Ed. He's not going to get great rush, so he's just going to mirror the quarterback. He's going to get down the line of scrimmage, and it hits him right in the neck as Todd Collins was trying to throw it to Devin Hester. You look at Todd Collins, never took his eyes off the inside receiver in Devin Hester, and old Ed Johnson, the D tackle, love watching those guys get interceptions.
First career interception for Ed Johnson. Panthers get some life. Julius Pepper's helmet came flying off, but a couple of yard gain by Jonathan Stewart on the carry. There's big Ed Johnson.
He started some games now last year for the Indianapolis Colts. You know what, though? I think one thing in today's game with all the fast pass and defensive linemen have gotten smarter than ever before. When they realize they're not going to get to an edge and a crease and get to the quarterback, they simply just kind of mirror the quarterback, get in front of him. He takes his left hand off the ball to throw. They get their hands up and get a bat down or a great play like that interception.
2nd and 8. Off the play fake. Clausen puts it up for Jeff King, and he dropped it. Flag on the play.
Yeah, they're going to get Tillman on this. He's hand fighting the whole way, and he never looks and locates the ball.
Charles Tillman for pass interference. So that gets the Panthers out.
Pass interference. Defense number 33. He spotted a foul. Automatic. First down.
Gets the Panthers out from the shadow of their end zone.
It's just a corner route, so he gets by him, and then right here you're going to see Charles Tillman. He's fighting. He's trying to keep the hands off of him. They're hand fight. Now, if Tillman turns and locates the ball and you're getting some incidental contact like that, not a problem. But if you're not locating the ball, that's pass interference every time.
Panthers out at the 28-yard line. 20-yard penalty. Clausen short drop. Completes it. The ball popped loose, though it's incomplete. Drop. Good coverage by Charles Tillman on Brandon LaFell. Let's get an update on the Tampa Bay Bucks. Here's Kurt.
Here's something you haven't seen before because it's never happened before. The first career interception for Cody Grimm. 7th-round draft pick out of Virginia Tech for the Bucks. Ties the game with Cincinnati. He scores from 11 yards out. It's even at 7. Sam and Tim, I'm sure you know, that's Russ Grimm's son.
Wow. That's great to see. Thanks, Kurt. Tampa Bay coming off the bye week at 2-1. Good start to their season. Clausen in trouble. A sack. Lance Briggs got him. 2nd sack of the game for the Chicago Bears. 1st of the season for Lance Briggs.
And a sack here without Julius Peppers. Pep is not in the game for Chicago. Lance Briggs here is so good at reading protection and attacking it late. You see him jump left, waits for the center to turn to the right, and then takes himself a free running lane to the quarterback for the QB sack. That's the experience. You can't, getting a little air in his helmet.
Yeah.
Can't replace that experience that Briggs has for sure.
3rd and 16. Clausen rolling and throwing. Good catch. Outstanding catch by the rookie David Geddes. The rookie out of Baylor. Carolina Panthers are without Stephen Smith, their best wide receiver, one of the top wide receivers in the league. He suffered a high ankle sprain in the game against New Orleans. He's likely out for a couple of weeks. And there's even talk that other teams are calling about him.
They should. I mean, by the time in my opinion, by the time this team is ready to roll, Steve will be past his prime.
Baker punts it away. Hester toward the sideline. This punt goes out of bounds. Baker did not make the same mistake, allowing Hester to field it inbounds. The Bears get the ball back with a 17-3 lead on the Panthers. Jason Baker punt ended the first quarter. Sam Rosen and Tim Ryan here in Charlotte as we get set to start the second quarter. How about this for a surprise? Bears have 131 yards total offense, 122 on the ground. That's a change.
Well, they've only stopped themselves. I mean, they touchdown, field goal. And then they obviously had the turnover down inside the 9-yard line there.
Bears start from the 19. Their 5th possession of the game. Todd Collins, the quarterback. Matt Forte back in at running back. Forte over 100 yards following Roberto Garza. It's a yard on the play.
When you say the Bears are running the ball, they're running at will with some big pops. Here's the first touchdown. They'll flip 90, and look at Beeson. Bad angle. He's the contained force guy, and he just gets outflanked by Matt Forte, and then some very, very good blocks by the offensive line. Tyler Brayton gets washed down the line of scrimmage by Brandon Manu Maliuna. Godfrey gets sucked inside the safety, and Forte takes it the distance.
Collins back to throw, gets time, short to Forte out of the backfield. Matt Forte leads the team in rushing and receptions, one of 4 players in the NFL to lead his team in both categories. Always a good receiver. Using the pass from Collins.
Yeah, and it's pretty wild after they lost that game Sunday night. You would have thought the Bears were an 0-4 football team with just everybody. It was, it's over, and with all the sacks. And I tell you, they beat a very good Dallas team. We know that in week 2, and what they did to Green Bay on Monday night. Got to be proud of these guys.
This is 3rd and less than a yard. Chester Taylor in the backfield. Follows Maliuna. Pulls his way forward, and it looks like he's got enough for the first down. Needed to get across the 29.
Well, that was all Chester Taylor, who was stacked up at the point of attack. Mike Martz told us last night, Chester Taylor's only gotten 6 touches per game. Not nearly enough in the caliber of player he is. And Mike said it last night. He goes, this guy's a violent runner. We've got to keep him involved, especially in the short yardage and goal line run game.
3 wide receivers in, you're right, but when you have a player like Matt Forte, you've got to give Forte a lot of touches in the game. Forte with a cutback, and is spun down at the 32-yard line. Pick up a 3 on the play. Charles Johnson, the defensive end.
I understand what you're saying, but number 1, you pay Chester Taylor a lot of money.
Yep.
Number 2, all the good teams have 2. I mean, there's going to be a time where there's a hamstring or there's a nick or Forte just needs a breather. And to have a guy like Chester Taylor, what a feather in your cap to know there's not a huge drop-off. And they have different skill sets.
Nick Hayden in a defensive tackle for the Panthers. Swing it out to Forte with some room. Gamble is there. He avoids 2 men, 3 men, and is finally brought down. Great moves by Matt Forte. Dan Connor, the middle linebacker, and James Anderson combined on the tackle, but a first down up at the 46-yard line.
And what he does to Gamble and to Charles Godfrey in space here, watch this move. Watch this. Whoop, right to the inside. Both of them catch an air and miss. And I'm telling you, Forte, I remember he busted onto the scene as a rookie against Indianapolis, and I know there's a long way to go. I said, this guy's running style and his style in the open field reminds you of a young Marcus Allen.
He's special. 2 tight ends in. Olsen motions. Chester Taylor takes the delayed handoff and gets a yard on the play. Good play up front by the Panthers, who now have Greg Hardy and Everett Brown in at defensive ends.
Looky there, 44 receptions last year with the Minnesota Vikings, and that's as a change of pace guy with Adrian Peterson as the bell cow, only 5 here with the Chicago Bears. So there's room, if you got a good one, to get the guy behind him his touches. They were able to do it in Minnesota with Chester and Adrian.
2nd and 10 for the Bears. Collins gets time. Waits, throws for Olsen, and overthrows him. Olsen had a little room. Todd Collins missed him. First start for Todd Collins since 2007, when he started 3 games for the Washington Redskins late in the season. Won them all. They got into the playoffs, then lost in the first round at Seattle. Veteran guy, bright guy, and I think that's one of the reasons he was brought in during training camp. There's Jay Cutler, who's out with a concussion, but is expected to be back next week. In fact, before the game today, he was out throwing passes in the warm-ups. Collins out of the shotgun, going deep, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by the rookie Jordan Pugh, making his first NFL start. The pass overthrown. Collins had a man wide open, but he overthrew it. Another turnover. First career interception for Jordan Pugh. And the Panthers come up with a big turnover.
Today's game is sponsored by the new Miller Lite Vortex bottle. Taste greatness. By Pizza Hut. Your favorite plays deserve your favorite pizza. Your favorites, your Pizza Hut. And by Lexus. This is the pursuit of tomorrow. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Two defensive-minded head coaches who put a lot of emphasis on takeaways. See their records when their teams are in the plus category. Second takeaway for the Panthers. They have yet to score any points on takeaways this season. They have 10. Clausen putting it up on first down, way downfield, and a flag on the play on Charles Tillman as he tried to cover Brandon LaFell, the rookie out of LSU.
See this? Offensive pass interference on Brandon LaFell.
Yeah?
I think so. Just from what I saw, he's fighting with Tillman the whole way. This time Tillman's looking at the ball, and at the last second, LaFell tried to gain some separation. Let's watch it. See, perfect coverage, perfect coverage. Now, Tillman's going to turn and look at the ball.
Offense, number 11.
Tim Ryan,
10-yard penalty.
you are
Still first
on
down.
the money. Good call.
Yeah, the rookie wideout. When both guys are looking at the ball, I mean, you can do the hand fighting, but at the end there, it almost looked like an arm bar where he pushed the arm down of Charles Tillman to gain some separation, and the back judge clearly saw it.
And the ball is brought all the way back to the 14-yard line. Corey Wooten is on, making his NFL debut. He was inactive the first 4 games. The rookie out of Northwestern, 4th-round draft pick. At defensive end. Delayed to D'Angelo Williams. Not much there. Flag on the play. Looks like a holding call.
Nice play by Corey Wooten out there.
Corey Wooten, 4th-round draft pick, but with the moves this week.
Holding. Offense number 67 is declined. Brings up second down.
Letting Mark Anderson go, who'd been here for a few years, and after his outstanding rookie season was a disappointment. Corey Wooten getting a chance to see some playing time. Charles Grant is inactive. He was picked up this week as a free agent.
And I think a big part of Corey Wooten and Charles Grant is going to be the discipline game opposite Julius Peppers in terms of keeping contained. One thing that Mark Anderson didn't do a lot of.
Clausen dropped the football, and he covers it up back at the 1-yard line.
Self-destruct.
The growing pains for the Carolina Panthers.
No, they've really hurt themselves with the details. Penalties and then this type of thing. We talked about it earlier. The details of just making the handoff happen. It just slipped out of his hand. He never even got to the mesh point, and the ball had already slipped out. You'll see it right there. It's almost like right when he squeezed it to put it into the breadbasket, the ball popped out of his hands.
This is 3rd and 32 back at the 2-yard line. D'Angelo Williams breaks through the first wave and is shoved out of bounds up at the 13-yard line. Let's see what the Lions are doing against the Rams. Here's Kurt Menefee.
They're doing it quite well, Sam. This is after the Rams kicked the field goal to tie the game. Ensuing kickoff, Stephon Logan takes it 105 yards for a score, and the Lions have a 10-3 lead in the second quarter. And Tim Ryan, Mike Pereira is getting nervous about his officiating title with your call there. Good job, brother.
Thanks, Kurt.
Thanks, Kurt. Lions looking for their first win of the season. Jason Baker aiming to the sideline. That's a good kick. Devin Hester has to watch it go out of bounds. He joined us late. Hester had a 50-yard punt return. Came up just short of a touchdown earlier. Bears in control and have good field position. Jonathan Stewart trying to rally the offense for the Carolina Panthers, which has failed to take advantage of 2 takeaways in this game. And this year, they haven't been able to put up any points after takeaways.
No, brutal. And I think Foxy's defense, they're going to knock it out. Year after year, they're able to do it. You got to seize the opportunity and get some points in what we call the sudden change.
Bears from the 43. Forte wrapped up for a loss. Good penetration, led by Charles Johnson. Good job up front by the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, and he's over there on Jamarcus Webb, the rookie right tackle. He's just going to blow it up and crash down into the C gap, which is the gap in between the guard and the tackle. Actually, he was outside on Brandon Manu-Maliuna.
Wildcat formation.
C gap outside the tackle, Sam.
Hester takes the direct snap and hands it off to Forte. And Forte gets up to the 48-yard line. How about the right side of the offensive line with Webb and Williams?
Well, there's been 8 throws and no sacks on Collins, which is a good number. But I'm more impressed in their ability to move people at the point of attack. Edwin Williams, number 70 on the touchdown, had a very nice block. And that's what they're looking for. They know these guys have upside. Is Schaefer a better player right now? Maybe, some of those guys, but got to get the young guys in, get them Sunday reps, and hope they're ready to go, like really playing their best ball at the end of the season.
3 wide receivers on 3rd and 5. Pressure on Collins, and they got him. That time they swarmed in. Greg Hardy, number 76, the rookie out of Mississippi, able to get over the top and take down Todd Collins. First sack of the game for Carolina, 5th of the season.
You see Krug's pull out to the right, and then that's where Tyler Brayton comes right up inside. And then Hardy ends up cleaning it up and getting the sack. James Anderson up the middle. Does a good job of reading the protection. As Krug's popped out to block the edge, they just blitzed right up the gut.
First punt of the game. Well, the Bears, Brad Maynard, high kick. Captain Munnerlyn goes to the sideline. The ball's out of bounds. Good punt by Maynard. Panthers defense does a good job. Can their offense get anything going?
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL.
I know you love your fantasy football. There's a new way to play fantasy football. Make real-time substitutions in a 20-minute fast-paced game. New games start every 15 minutes. Play now at foxsports.com/live. Is that cotton candy on his head?
I don't know. Try some.
From the 16. Jonathan Stewart gets back to the line of scrimmage. Good play up front, led by Matt Toina. Toina has played well this season for the Bears as they have searched for strength inside. Toina's just got a strong motor and keeps working.
He's solid. He's solid, and you can trust him. And I think a couple of things. Marcus Harrison, I don't know what's happened to him, the 3rd-round pick from a few years ago. And Tommy Harris is getting his plays, but clearly, at least up to this point, Tommy is not even close to the player that he used to be.
2nd and 10. Clausen sets up the screen to Stewart. Picks up a block from Khalil, the center. And a flag comes in as Stewart got close to the first down, got to the 25, but looks like it's going against the Panthers.
Looks like something out on the perimeter by one of the wideouts. Another self-inflicted
Pass interference.
wound.
Offense number 87 was blocking downfield before the pass. Half the distance to the goal. Still 2nd down.
That's the new addition. David Clowney was picked up as a free agent.
Yeah, and what a shame, too, because you're going to have Ryan Khalil, who pulls out and gets a real nice block on Lance Briggs. Excuse me, it's going to be on Urlacher or Tino Samoa right there.
Clowney was on waivers, put on waivers by the Jets and picked up by Carolina just this week when they let Dwayne Jarrett go, former 2nd-round draft pick.
Should help them stretch out the offense with some vertical speed, but you got to clean up the mistakes.
A lot of them. Stewart, nothing there as he went straight ahead. As the Panthers try to play it safe deep in their own territory, fans reacting. They're not happy with the offense at all, or should they be? The Panthers haven't gotten anything going. 77 yards total offense, 74 on the ground, just 3 yards passing. As Jimmy Clausen is just 2 for 4. D'Angelo Williams is back in. This is 3rd and long. Panthers have to get to the 26 for a first down. Clausen out of his end zone to D'Angelo Williams. Brought down by Lance Briggs at the 13-yard line, and the Panthers will be forced to punt. It's a rough stretch for this Carolina team. Their offense hasn't been able to get much going at all.
They're so young, Sam. Clearly the rebuild is here. the message was sent. The message to me was sent 2 years ago when John Fox didn't get a contract extension.
Fourth punt of the game for Jason Baker. Hester looking toward the sideline. Baker angles it toward the sideline, and again it's out of bounds. They don't want to give Hester a chance. They saw what could happen earlier when he returned 150 yards. Ooh, that looks good. Bears fans having a good time here, and they should. Their team's up. Here's an idea that I think you'll like. Every day, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Log on to foxsports.com. We call it Lunch with Benefits. Great original shows. Flags fly as the play is stopped.
Ball start. Offense number 68. 5-yard penalty is still first.
Lunch with Benefits on foxsports.com. We've got Jay Glazer on Mondays. Brian Billick with Coach Speak on Tuesdays. On Friday, what's the name of that show?
Inside Call.
Inside Call. You've been a guest on that a couple of times.
Yeah, I've been on there a couple of times. Look, anytime Mike can deliver content to a guy that's really articulate, who's hoisted a Lombardi trophy, Sam, I'm all over it. Love it.
Bears from the 36. Collins quick to Hester. Looking for some running room. He bellied back. That's a face mask penalty. Charles Johnson reached out with a big hand and grabbed Hester by the face mask.
Face mask. Defense number 95. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Hester's going to line all the way up outside the numbers. Get him here now. He's going to end up taking it back up the field. Now he gets a little hitch, brings it back, reverses field. That was supposed to be the little bubble screen, and then he is such a threat that if you're Charles Johnson, he's circling the perimeter to the backside. By all means necessary, try to get him down, and ended up with a face mask.
Bears with the ball at their own 46-yard line. First 3 times they touched the ball offensively, they scored. Last 3 times it's been 2 interceptions and a punt. Forte on the delay gets about a yard on the play. And credit the Panthers with some of that. Their defense has come together the last 3 series.
Think about this, and it goes back to last week. And they had no chance in that game without the 2 forced turnovers early in the game against Drew Brees when they were threatening to get some points. So I think when you look at this defense, the youth on the defense, they're playing about as good as they can play. Beeson's made a position change over a weak side linebacker now because of the injury to Thomas Davis. Hard to cut the field in half for Beeson. I love him much more in the middle where he's a sideline-to-sideline guy.
2nd and 9. The play fake by Collins. Connor's got a piece of him. The ball batted up. Intercepted. 3rd takeaway of the game by the Carolina Panthers. As Everett Brown came down with a football, again a batted pass. We've seen a couple of those in this game on both sides.
Here's Danny Connor right here. It's the Mars blitz, where you send the Sam first, and you got the Mike coming second. Mike Sam. There's the M and the S for Mars. Danny Connor gets it, pops it up in the air. Turnover number 3 today as Everett Brown comes down with the interception.
I thought Nick Hayden got the block.
Did he get the block?
I thought Hayden got the block and Brown came down with the ball. But good pressure. You're right on Dan Connor's part. So the Bears have been guilty of turnovers. 3 interceptions. Wildcat formation with the rookie Armani Edwards, former quarterback of Appalachian State. The handoff is to David Geddes, and the Bears have it. Diagnosed Tim Jennings with a good tackle at the 49-yard line. That's a loss. So a little trick play tried by Jeff Davidson, the offensive coordinator, comes up losing yards. Good field position by the Panthers after the takeaway. And as we told you earlier, they have not been able to capitalize on those takeaways. They stay with a Wildcat formation.
Monty Edwards can throw it now.
This is his first NFL game. He's been inactive the first 4. They fake the handoff. Edwards looking and runs with it. He's got good speed. He was drafted as a return man, and they list him as a wide receiver. He's only 5'11", but he was a quarterback at Appalachian State for 4 years.
And his numbers are ridiculous and prolific in college football. He is He won the Walter Payton Award 2 times in college, and I mean that's an unbelievable feat. He's the only guy that's ever been able to do that. I think I've been most impressed, and he's been inactive and hasn't played this year, but just watching him throw in practice, the athleticism's obvious, but he throws like Mike Vick. I mean, it's not a lefty-loosey, it is a lefty laser when Armani Edwards releases it.
Jimmy Clausen back in with D'Angelo Williams on 3rd and 10. Clausen rolls and throws, and it's caught, but out of bounds. The rookie, Brandon LaFell, was out of bounds when he caught it.
I like the fact they're moving Jimmy Clausen a little bit in the pocket. Now they're able to chip up and keep Julius Peppers off the quarterback. Here's the throw. Clausen on the run. Good throw. Left foot down. Is the right foot down before he... Here's the chip right there. Good chip by D'Angelo Williams. Now let's watch the ball on the... Well, hard to see there. Never has possession. Yeah, but he didn't have possession when the back foot was not down by the time he did have possession of the football.
Jason Baker on. If he punts it, it'll be his 5th. And a whistle for a timeout here.
John Fox given an opportunity to look at it. Have the guys upstairs take a peek at it up in the booth. And
well, you're right. Early on, when he first got his hands on it, his feet were in bounds.
Oh, there's
the challenge flag. But he didn't have possession here.
No, and it's the...
This is being challenged by Carolina.
Yeah, he never had possession with that right foot on the ground. The right foot was on the ground when the ball got there. You'll see it right here. Okay, right foot on the ground, but he doesn't have possession, right foot up, then retains possession, gets possession, left foot goes down, right foot steps out of bounds. John Fox will not win this challenge.
Buddy threw the flag to have the review. That's one of the rookie wide receivers, Brandon LaFell. He's a 3rd-round draft pick out of LSU, put up great numbers at LSU. And they have high hopes for these young receivers. David Geddes, who was a 6th-round pick out of Baylor, has come along and done a real good job and has played more than LaFell.
You know, why would you challenge this if you're John Fox?
Well,
I mean, you're punting anyway. They didn't get the first. You challenge it. Now you're out of challenges. They lost the first challenge, so they won't get an opportunity for a 3rd.
Would it have been a first down? Tim? No.
It's 4th and...
No, if they rule it a catch.
I don't think it was a first down. No, they had the 8-yard loss on first down. No, I don't think it would have been a first down.
Okay. Let's take a look. First down markers to 32.
Yeah, he's out here. Look, no way, no chance.
Yeah,
why do you challenge him?
Yeah.
What do you gain? 5 yards on the stat sheet? Get a catch for your rookie?
Now easy, go nice. John's a good man, but you're right. But you're right,
coach is what he is.
You are right. All right, here comes Mike Carey with the decision.
After review, the receiver got control with his left foot down. His right foot was out of bounds, incomplete. The ruling on the field is confirmed.
Oh, that was a teaser. He made you think it was going the other way.
With a second team timeout.
But he explained it the right way.
Yep.
And as you did as well. And John Fox discusses things with him. Devin Hester is back at his own 10-yard line. And Jason Baker, the punt, is 5th of the game. Bears with a 17-3 lead. They had a big opportunity to make it 24-3, but they turned the ball over down at the Carolina 1-yard line. Carolina has not been able to take advantage of any takeaways. Hester waits for a fair catch, and he's got it at the 10-yard line. This Tuesday, Bears at the 10-yard line with a 17-3 lead. At Forte in at running back. So Carolina's had 3 takeaways in the game, and again, no points on the board from those takeaways. Toss to Forte, led by Manumaleuna. Gets outside. Got away from Beeson, chased out of bounds by the safety, Charles Godfrey. First down for the Bears.
3 interceptions by Todd Collins today. Here they are. Here's the first one to a defensive lineman, Ed Johnson. That one really hurts because you're in scoring position. Then he throws it late and overthrows Johnny Knox. Jordan Pugh gets the interception. And then the batted ball there by Nick Hayden that Everett Brown's able to jump up and pick off the deflection.
Matt Forte's last run was 14 yards, 10 carries, 126 yards for Matt Forte. Forte carries again. Dan Connor on the stop up at the 29-yard line. We're coming down to the 2-minute warning as Jay Cutler looks on. Expected to be back when the Bears host the Seattle Seahawks next week. Seahawks have a bye week this week. Brian Urlacher and the Bears defense haven't given up much. Panthers have only 3 points. Bears have the 14-point lead. Panthers' completion percentage for their quarterbacks is last in the NFL. They cut ties with Jake Delhomme last season. Matt Moore started this season, wasn't getting it done. Jimmy Clausen has taken over in his first year in the NFL. Chester Taylor with a good run up to the 39-yard line and a Bears first down.
Chester is such an underrated, solid running back. He was in Baltimore. Baltimore let him go, went to Minnesota. He became that bell cow. He's equally effective running inside, outside, and an underrated receiver as well out of the backfield.
Rasheed Davis in at the 3rd wide receiver spot. Lines up in the slot. Taylor carries, spins, and gets up to the 40-yard line. The clock running. Bears have ripped up some yardage on the ground. 166 yards rushing in the first half. Led by Matt Forte.
Remember I said earlier 4 yards is what you shoot for as an offense or as a defense to keep them under 4? Well, Carolina's okay at 4-2, but put that in comparison with Mike Martz's offense is doing. It's ridiculous. 9.2 a carry.
Again, 3 wide receivers. And it's Taylor. Good job by Beeson fighting off the block to make the tackle. John Beeson in his 4th year, solid linebacker.
Watch Beast right here. Cruz is going to be the guy that tries to block him. Beeson's going to slow play it, slow play it, slow play it. Now fire his gun right to the outside shoulder of Cruz. Take on Olin, disengage, and make a tackle. Special player, John Beeson.
Bears taking the time. You see Beeson's numbers. The leading tackler for the Panthers the last 3 seasons. Collins to put it up. Looking to set up the screen. And Taylor is hit. The ball popped loose. It's an incomplete pass. Oh, he took quite a shot from Captain Munnerlyn, the cornerback. 2nd-year man out of South Carolina.
And they like him quite a bit. Started some games last year, has been their primary nickel guy. He was all over that screen. That's what I love when you're, especially sitting in zone now. You read that screen and sniff it out and go blow it up. Munnerlyn certainly did it that time.
Second punt of the game. Brad Maynard and the Bears. 7 seconds remaining in this first half. Maynard gets it away. Good high punt. Captain Munnerlyn lets it bounce. And it takes a good roll for the Bears out of bounds at the 16-yard line. And we have come to the end of the first half. Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy have all the scores and highlights from around the league. Fox Sports Ticker keeps you updated with up-to-the-second stats. Stay tuned. Good first half for Julius Peppers and the Bears defense as they held Carolina to just 3 points. The Bears jumped all over the Panthers early. Good return game. Big return on the kickoff by Danielle Manning of 62 yards. Helped set up the touchdown. The Bears scoring 2 touchdowns and a field goal to start it at the big lead of 17-3. Matt Forte with a first rushing touchdown of the season for the Bears. And then he followed that up with this touchdown, the longest touchdown run of his career, 68 yards. And then Robbie Gould added a field goal. The Bears threatened to score again, but they turned the ball over at the 1-yard line of the Panthers. And for the Carolina hometown fans, it's not been a good time. As they transition to young players, their offense hasn't been able to get anything going. The Bears with 193 yards in the first half. The Panthers only 83. The Visa halftime report is coming up. We're at halftime with the Chicago Bears leading the Carolina Panthers 17-3. Welcome back to Charlotte. Getting set to start the third quarter. The Panthers, who deferred after winning the coin toss, will receive. And a look at Julius Peppers. There's Matt Forte, both having strong games. Julius Peppers with an interception. There's Robbie Gould to kick it off to Mike Goodson. Goodson 1 yard deep, brings it back. Looking for a lane. Oh, he ran into Josh Bullock's, and Bullock stayed with him. Otherwise, it could have been gone. Good return by Mike Goodson. Sam Rosen, Tim Ryan here in Charlotte. Chicago Bears wanted to get back to the running game. They did just that in the first half.
Oh, they were outstanding. Are you kidding me? Number one, they were committed to it. Number two, the two new guys they put out there, Edwin Williams at right guard, Jamarcus Webb at right tackle, have helped open up running lanes. And what can you say about Matt Forte?
Oh,
he has exploded today, Sam, and it's been all over the field. It's been to the edge, it's been to the perimeter, it's been cut back, it's been up the middle. He's really having a great game.
Angelo Williams carries and didn't get much. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Take a look at the numbers first half. The Bears with 188 yards total offense, 168 on the ground, and Tim just checked off what Carolina put up. Only 8 yards passing for Carolina in the first half.
No, it's brutal for them offensively. Give a lot of credit to the Bears defense, who are playing outstanding today, and really it's the 3 turnovers by their defense, that being Carolina, that's kept this thing close. Looks like Travell Wharton, left guard, on the sideline getting looked at.
Replaced by Gary Williams. Clausen wanted to put it up, decides to run and dives as he saw Brian Urlacher and Israel Adonijah converging. And he got up to the 31-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 9. Gary Williams is a second-year tackle out of Kentucky, replacing Travell Wharton at guard.
Yeah, what happened is he's out at right tackle. They moved Jeff Schwartz down to right guard, and they moved Mackenzie Bernardo over to left guard. So now you're going to have Gary Williams potentially lined up on Julius Peppers, and we got it right now.
Yeah, there's Peppers. Came right to that side to challenge the new man. Gets picked up by the back, and the pass is complete to David Geddes. Short slant pattern and a first down for the Panthers. Brings cheers from the crowd. A 10-yard pickup on the play.
I'd say if there's any chemistry in the passing game, it's between those guys right there, David Geddes and Jimmy Clausen, because really all summer long they were on the second unit together.
At the 41-yard line, Angelo Williams, the running back, straight ahead, gets a couple of yards up to the 43. Only 4 first downs in the game for the Carolina Panthers.
Well, and these numbers will tell you why. Look at what they've done on first down. Average yards on first down. All the coaches in the NFL, everyone talks third down. They'll all tell you how important first down is. A half a yard average on first down, and then you look at how that translates to the 3rd and longs, which cuts your playbook by 2/3 at least. There's Jeff Davidson right in the middle, the offensive coordinator.
Got Jeff Schwartz back at right tackle. It's Clausen being chased by Peppers, and he threw it away.
The range of Julius Peppers. You know, most quarterbacks, they see an end come upfield like that, and they've got the ability to run away from him, get out of the pocket, and throw it away, and buy some time. Peppers will close the gap on you so fast. See, right now, Jimmy's like, all right, no problem. It's a defensive end. I'm going to, you just got to unload it. 300 pounds for a long strider. Pep has got exceptional quickness and ability to burst.
Here's 3rd and 8 for the Panthers. Travell Wharton is back in the game at left guard. Jeff Schwartz has moved back to right tackle. Clausen, flag on the play. He's got a free play here. He's waiting for someone to come open, and again he throws it away. He's out of the pocket as he was on the previous play. There's no intentional grounding, but the fans are unhappy with the fact that Carolina is unable to do anything to keep the drive alive.
It's like they threw it on LaFell over on the sideline right away.
Illegal formation, offense, 6 men on the line of scrimmage, decline, 4th down.
A lot of mistakes in this game, as we mentioned earlier. And for John Fox, this has been a tough transition.
Well, it's growing pains, clearly. And I feel bad for John. I really do. I think the message has been sent here in Carolina in terms of the budget and where this team is going, and pushing a lot of big money and out the door in terms of some guys they did not bring back and or sign.
Like Julius Peppers. Exactly. Low line drive punt. Hester gets out of the way, and the Panthers cover it down at the 15-yard line. Jordan Sen was down there. 42-yard punt. Bears on offense when we come back. Bears come to the line of scrimmage at the 16. Last 5 possessions, their offense has really struggled. 3 interceptions and 2 punts after a great start to the game. Forte trying to bounce it outside. Charles Johnson got a piece, and then he's knocked out of bounds by Richard Marshall at the 19-yard line.
He's just so shifty, and he's got a great straight arm, and he's always matriculating, if you will, up the field. He's always got his legs pumping, the good running backs do, and he's his own best blocker. They had him stuffed up there about for a 1-yard gain, and he was able to bust it out and pick up a couple of more yards.
Forte and Malamaliuna lining up in the backfield. Malamaliuna is the fullback to toss to Forte. Trying to pick up a block, and Connor with a good job, helped out by John Beeson. Good job by the defense of the Carolina Panthers.
And look at Matt Forte right here. The old flip 90 misdirection. You get Beeson attacking upfield. He runs by him. Now you have a cutback. Look at the vision here by Matt Forte. Ridiculously good. Now right there again, breaking tackles, getting to the perimeter, and then he can also run it right up the middle. He can get right in the action, and then there's that straight arm I was talking about. That's on a pretty good player, John Beeson right there, who takes one right to the grill.
Bears, who were 0 for 13 on 3rd down conversions last week, 1 for 6 in the game today. 3rd and 6. Collins for Hester, and he dropped it. He was open. They had Hester in motion. He slanted in. The pass was there, but Hester dropped it.
Yeah, very good throw. Hester fit right in behind it's Marcus Hudson, but he's playing as a linebacker in their sub package, and just sat right in between the zone and the zone corner and that nickel linebacker. Good throw. Hester couldn't get it, couldn't corral it.
3 and out for the Bears. Brad Maynard's 3rd punt of the game. Captain Munderland is back for the Panthers at his own 35. Good punt by Maynard. Munderland at the 37. One guy went flying by. That was Garrett Wolf, the first man down. He just went right by Munderland, but he was brought down after a 2-yard return. Tonight on Fox, an all-new animation domination races for the pennant when skipper Mike Scioscia guest stars on The Simpsons, followed by The Cleveland Show, Family Guy, and American Dad. All new episodes start at 8/7 Central tonight on Fox. Panthers from their own 39. Jonathan Stewart with a short pickup. Panthers with a field goal in the game. Last 6 possessions have ended in punts.
We did the game a couple years ago here. Remember, the Bears went in at halftime, came back out in the second half, and they had it, and they let it slip away, and it was a couple of big runs by Jonathan Stewart in the second half of that game that was able to get it done for the Carolina Panthers.
Panthers have David Clowney, wide receiver, along with David Geddes. Off the play fake, Clausen Completes it to the tight end, Dante Rosario. Rosario down at the 43-yard line. Clausen gets up slowly, a little limp.
And he didn't even get hit. That was on air. Urlacher was coming to the side of him. Nobody hit him. Watch him here. He's going to set back. He's going to get to his back foot. The ball is going to come out. Tweak something.
It was straight. Henry Melton in a defensive tackle for the Bears, number 69. On third down, Clausen throwing for Rosario. Leaping attempt. He's out of bounds. Did not come down inbounds. Great effort as he was covered by Pisatino Isamoa. But a terrific effort, but he came down out of bounds.
Yeah, it was really good coverage. It was right over the head. I like the throw by Jimmy Clausen. Rosario is able to go up and get it, but it's the aggressive coverage of Pisatino Isamoa that gets him out of bounds. Now, there is no overt force out in pro football anymore. You're either in or you're out. So, good job there by Pisa in coverage, pushing him out of bounds.
Fourth 3 and out for the Panthers. Flag on the play as the punt by Baker bounces down at the 5-yard line, and it's well covered by the Panthers. Check out the flag all the way back at the Carolina 24-yard line.
Don't make them kick it again if it's on Carolina. Why wouldn't you, based on where the ball was down?
Illegal formation, defense.
Nope.
The nose man was lined up over the center. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
Well, let's see.
Carolina wants to decline it, clearly. They don't want to punt it again.
All right, John Fox has made that signal to Mike Carey. It is declined. And the Bears will take over inside their own 10-yard line. Back in Charlotte, last week was a nightmare for the Bears in the first half. They gave up an NFL record 9 sacks. They tightened things up in front of Todd Collins today. They've gotten some yardage, especially on the ground. Last week they were shut down totally by the Giants. Bears start from their 8-yard line with a 17-3 lead. Collins, late rush, and the pass intended for Greg Olsen is wide of him. John Beeson coming late on the blitz. Almost got there.
Yeah, that ball's just thrown late. Greg Olsen had Charles Godfrey, who's in man coverage, had him outflanked, was able to get to the flat. Todd Collins held the ball too long. And Beeson was bearing down, as you said, on that delayed blitz right up the gut.
Panthers have Everett Brown in at right defensive end. 3 wide receivers in. Devin Aroma should do the 3rd wide out, along with Devin Hester and Johnny Knox. Making Earl Bennett and Johnny Knox. Forte carries up to the 13. Let's see what the Falcons are doing in Cleveland. For that, we go to Kurt Menefee.
What they're doing, Sam, is taking the lead. Matt Ryan hooking up with Roddy White, 45 yards on the score, and the Falcons are on top of the Browns, 13-10 in the 3rd quarter. Sam and Tim, why don't people talk about Roddy White more? This guy's good.
No doubt, Kurt. He is certainly, in my mind right now, one of the top 5 receivers in pro football.
You're right. Matt Forte now has a career-high 140 yards rushing. Here's a 3rd and 5 for the Bears. Short drop. The pass was tipped. Intended for Devin Aromashadu, but it looked like it was tipped coming out of the hand of Todd Collins.
Well, Tyler Brayton came unblocked, and he was converging and hitting Todd Collins just as he was releasing the football. You'll see Brayton. They're going to have a blitz up the middle. Beeson's coming, but Brayton's going to come right there. Yeah, and he's just hitting Todd Collins as he's releasing it.
It's a big hit, and once again, the Bears offense doesn't get anything going. Brad Maynard with the punt. Good high kick. Captain Munnerlyn at the 44. Looking for some room. Doesn't have much as the Bears have it well covered. Panthers, good field position. Start at the 47. The Bears have a 17-3 lead. see all the pink things being worn and the pink around. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the NFL. We invite you to bid on authentic game day NFL pink products at NFL.com/auction. That pass outside is caught by LaFell. And the Panthers with a first down at the Bears' 37-yard line. Pressure from Henry Melton, who's in at defensive end. Bears giving Julius Peppers a rest. Have Corey Wooten in.
Now LaFell gets up limping.
Yeah.
Not good. Oh. I'll tell you, though, it took time for that thing to develop. You had Geddes, who was flying down the field vertically. LaFell came all the way from the opposite direction, and Jimmy Clausen bought some time with his feet and delivered a strike.
Angelo Williams trying to cut it back. Good job up front, and a little help on the outside from the cornerback Zach Bowman, who's in the game in place of Tim Jennings. Williams getting a yard down on the 36-yard line. D'Angelo Williams with 12 carries, 51 yards, had a 23-yard run in the first half.
And I will bet you anything that the phone has been ringing off the hook, hoping that Carolina would trade a guy like D'Angelo Williams. Final year of his deal. Trade deadline coming up next week. Bet you it's been red hot on the phones. I don't think they're going to move him, though.
I wouldn't. Clausen puts it up deep, too far for David Clowney. Of the wide receivers dressed today for the Carolina Panthers, 3 rookies, and Clowney, who's the third-year man. Clowney's the only man with an NFL touchdown. He has 1. The rest, none. They're all getting their initiation.
And think about how much more difficult it makes it for a rookie quarterback when you don't have a guy like Steve Smith out there. See, one thing about Steve is not only was he a great player, but he helped the quarterback because they always tilted coverage. Made it much easier for the quarterback to read the coverages when Steve Smith's on the field.
Peppers and Adonijay back in. Peppers lining up a tackle here. And on third down, Clausen rolls, looking downfield and throwing and completing it short to David Clowney inside the 30 at the 28-yard line. About a yard short of the first down. It's going to be 4th and 1.
Nice job by Clowney. You see the veteran experience there, getting both feet down. I love the fact that Jimmy Clausen's starting to move around the pocket. He's reading the rush. The Bears came with an inside stump coming to the inside, freed up the edge, and Jimmy Clausen took advantage of it. Let's see if he steps out of bounds here on the comeback before he catches the football. No, didn't look like it.
No.
Looked like he held that left foot right inside the white stripe.
Dragged that toe. Good play by Clowney. They brought the chains across to measure. Along the near sideline.
I'd like to see him do more of that with Jimmy Clausen, too, who's a real smart guy, but you make it easier by moving him to one side of the field. Let him read half the field and get it out.
You can see it's at least a yard short. Well, Clausen's getting on-the-job training. We remember when he went to Notre Dame, he started as a freshman early in his career.
Yeah, I asked him about that. I said, what's harder? He said, well, I think I'm more prepared now because I'm more mature and I know the game better. He goes, but in college, all the pre-snap stuff, guys are moving, they're showing you what they got. The NFL is about the post-snap.
Panthers will go for it on 4th and 1. They trail 17-3. LaFell is back in. Jonathan Stewart's in the backfield. 2 tight ends to the right. Now Barnidge motions. And there's movement. I thought it was on the offensive line. False start. Yeah.
Offense number 70.
Travell
5-yard penalty is still 4th.
So there you go. From a 4th and 1, you now have 4th and 6. John Fox throws up his hands. What can you do?
No, you kick a field goal now is what you do.
Well, he's got John Casey on the field. And this will be a 51-yard try for John Casey. He was made a 52-yarder this season.
He has gotten better with age. That guy, 20 years in pro football. It's amazing.
40-year-old John Casey lets it fly, and it is no good. So the Bears will wind up with good field position after the field goal miss by Casey. And the Bears still lead 17-3. John Casey, 40 years of age, and throughout the years he's had a terrific career in the NFL. Consistency has been the name of his game, and in fact has gotten better, as you said, Tim, in the latter years. 4 for 5 this season, and still has that strong leg. He had plenty of distance on that last field goal. Chester Taylor in the backfield off the play fake. Collins to Taylor. And Taylor gets up to the 47-yard line. James Anderson brings him down. Good play on first down. Bears offense has really stalled after a good start to the game. Last 2 possessions have been 3 and out. They've had 3 interceptions and 4 punts on the last 7 possessions.
I like the fact that they are getting the ball more to Chester Taylor. That's his 10th touch today. They only average 6 touches a game, so concerted effort to get him the rock today.
Knox and Hester, the wideouts. Collins off the plate fake, being rushed, down he goes. Oh, hit hard. James Anderson and Nick Hayden combined on the sack. Second sack of the game for the Panthers, only their 6th of the season.
Great job by Nick Hayden. Unbelievable. He's lined up shaded on the center. He's going to cross the face of Owen Kreutz. And then that frees up James Anderson to come. They both converge on the quarterback at the same time.
Lost back to the 38-yard line. Bears have to get to the Panthers 49. 3rd and 13. Devin Aroma-Shadu in as the 3rd wide receiver, along with Knox and Bennett. And the Bears with some alignment confusion. They call a timeout. Use their first of the second half. Todd Collins goes over to the sideline to chat things up. Don't forget, postseason baseball on Fox. We've got the National League Championship Series. The Division Series still alive. The Championship Series begins Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Here on Fox, the winner goes to the World Series, and we'll have that for you right here on Fox as well.
How about Lincecum on the hill for the Giants?
Oh, man. Did he have a game? He was terrific in game 1. They need that kind of performance.
We had a no-hitter this week, thrown this week, right, by one of the pitchers.
Doc Holliday? Oh, Holliday was great. Phillies and Reds battling in their series. 70 is Edwin Williams. 73 is Jamarcus Webb. Webb, a 7th-round draft pick in his first NFL start. Collins under pressure, he throws, and it's intercepted by the safety Charles Godfrey. 4th interception of the game for the Panthers, and Godfrey is out of bounds at the Bears' 43-yard line. There's a flag down.
Offense number 73 is declined. First down.
Yeah, you were just talking about Jamarcus Webb. He held Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson hits the quarterback right as he's letting it go, but he wants it up the seam. Watch the safety read the eyes of the quarterback. Charles Godfrey, you absolutely love safeties in this league that have cornerback skill. He started 25 games at corner at Iowa. He was down and covering his part of the field. Read the eyes of the quarterback. The ball was in the air way too long. Gave him the time to come over and get the interception.
4th interception thrown by Todd Collins today. That is a career high or career low. Clausen goes to the end zone for a man. It's batted away. Danielle Manning broke it up. He had a man open, but he underthrew it.
Oh, he had him open and threw it way too late. It took Jimmy far too long to decide that he was going to unload this thing. LaFell right down the seam. Okay, he's open right now. Jimmy holds on to the ball too long, ends up clearly underthrowing it, and it should have been picked by Danielle Manning. Missed opportunity by the Carolina offense.
Panthers still trying to come up with points off of takeaways. This is their 4th of the game. They haven't had any points off takeaways all season long. On 2nd and 10, Clausen setting up a screen. Jonathan Stewart is stopped by Chris Harris and Brian Urlacher. Let's check out Jacksonville and Buffalo. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Jacksonville is trading touchdowns in the second half. This one from David Garrard to Mike Sims-Walker. puts the Jaguars on top, 27-20 in the fourth quarter. But Sam and Tim, the Jaguar offense right now without Maurice Jones-Drew, who left the game with an injury.
That's a big loss. Thanks, Kurt. Jacksonville is 2-2. Buffalo 0-4. Dante Rosario, the tight end, splits out. Clausen out of the shotgun on 3rd and 6. Everybody out. Flag on the play. Clausen trying to run for it. Dives forward, but he's short on the first down. At the 35, Matt Toina was there to stop him.
Might get the Bears lining up in the neutral zone.
You got it.
Still 3rd down.
So the Bears make a couple of mistakes, take a penalty here. So they'll replay 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and 1 for Carolina as Lovie Smith looks on.
It's incredible when you think about Carolina and the number of times their defense has given them the ball back offensively after a turnover, and they have been able to capitalize. We showed the numbers earlier. They are still 0 on the season after what we call a sudden change. After a takeaway, they have been unable to capitalize. 0 points on the year.
And straight ahead, the fullback, Tony Fiavetta, for a first down. As he gets to the 31-yard line, good blocking up front. Wharton, Khalil, and Bernardo doing a good job ahead of the fullback, Tony Fiametta. So the Panthers, who had a sustained drive in their first possession, drove inside the Bears 10, but kept it on the ground. Had it settle for a field goal, now with a chance to get some points. Jonathan Stewart in the backfield. Clausen, short drop. He hits LaFell. LaFell drops it as he was wrapped up by Charles Tillman.
That's a very, very good throw by Jimmy Clausen. He saw what he wanted out on the edge, and LaFell's got to catch it. And Tillman is a terrific guy in terms of knocking the ball out and getting his hands in there. He once told us it's see ball, get ball. Go knock it out. But LaFell, we've seen a couple of times today with opportunities to make plays, and he's been unable to get it done.
On 2nd and 10, Jonathan Stewart ran into Lance Briggs. And Briggs doesn't move much when you run into him.
And neither does 28 at 235 pounds.
That's a good collision.
Ooh.
Briggs won that one as he took down Stewart at the 30. For the Bears, Caleb Haney is warming up. We might see him because Todd Collins has not had a good game. And Haney, who was the backup to Jay Cutler going into training camp, got injured, is warming up. Timeout called by the Bears.
Here's Lance Briggs. He's going to get rolled up. It looks like by Jeff Schwartz, number 74. Yeah, there's Briggs in on the tackle, and you see Schwartz with that big body falling on the back of his legs. I'm telling you, it's when you're in the middle of that, sometimes it's like here comes the tidal wave and you can't stop it. You know it's coming, and you still can't get out of the way.
Next weekend, it's homecoming in East Lansing. The Illinois defense looks to slow down the Spartans' ground attack. Big Ten football next weekend on the Big Ten Network. Check your local listings for the start time in your area. Illinois had a huge win over Penn State yesterday, and Michigan State beat Michigan. Enough said. That's going to be a great game. Here's 3rd and 9. Lance Briggs trying to walk it off on the sideline. And the false start against Carolina again. They shoot themselves in the foot.
Start, offense, number 11, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Brandon LaFell again, and Foxy knows it. And it just, that's the youth showing up. John knows he's got so many young players, and I tell you though, whatever happens with Foxy, and nobody really knows going into next year with Carolina and what direction they're headed in, the guy will have a job in 5 minutes in pro football.
Without a question. Excellent coach. Clausen has time, buys some more, and then throws it away with Julius Peppers closing in. Nobody was open downfield, and Clausen threw it away, and they're forced to punt.
Hard to win in this league. You talk about being young. Whoa. You got 13 starts between the three guys that are dressed today for Carolina. Look at the NFL average on game day for the quarterback group. 104 starts.
No punt. It's a field goal try from 53 yards for John Casey. Had the distance earlier, but missed. And puts this one up. Does it have the distance? Yes, it's good. 53 yards, John Casey. His 39th career field goal of 50 or older. He's 40 plus. And John Casey still has the leg. His second 50-plus field goal of the season.
I'll tell you what's amazing about that is it's 50-plus, but it's got some lift on it. You know, you see a lot of guys, they hit that one from so long, and they got to drive it. So it comes out low. You saw Donajay with that big wingspan with his arms up. Casey got a lot of lift on the ball, but was still able to get the carry. Impressive.
53-yard field goal gives the Panthers 6 points in the game, still trailing 17-6.
They are hanging around, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. They fell behind 17-3. The Bears had the ball at the 1 yard line. Thought they had a touchdown on a run by Chester Taylor. It was reviewed, and it came up a yard short. And then they threw an interception.
Yeah, then Ed Johnson, yeah, the defensive tackle, had the interception down on the goal line. And then since then, the Bears, frankly, haven't been able to do anything offensively.
Reese Lloyd to kick it off. Good kick. Danielle Manning, 5 yards deep, brings it out. Manning stumbles, gets through the first wave, broke a tackle, still going. What an effort by Manning to return to the 28-yard line. We take you back. These two teams met in the playoffs, the end of the 2005 season. Julius Peppers for Carolina, Jim Belushi rooting on the Bears. But the story of the game was this man who's missing today, Stephen Smith. He caught 12 passes for 218 yards and 2 touchdowns. The defense shut down the Bears at the end of the game. The Panthers advanced in the playoffs, beating the Bears.
Did he tell you to call him Stephen?
Oh, you like Steve?
Just
Stephen is... It's respectful.
Yeah, all right.
Caleb Haney is in the game. The undrafted man out of Colorado State. It's his 3rd season. And he's always done enough to impress the coaches with his work ethic in preseason to keep him around. And they were ready to have him be the backup quarterback going into the season in training camp, but he was injured. Hurt his throwing shoulder. Todd Collins to the sideline, having thrown 4 interceptions. Play fake. Haney, flag on the play. The screen to Forte. Gets a first down, but that's going to come back. I believe we'll have a holding on the Bears.
Holding, offense number 68. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Frank Omiel, a former Carolina Panther.
Well, and Everett Brown just shakes him down right here. Everett flashes upfield, and that's a guy they need to play now, Everett Brown, and they need him to play well. They gave up a first-round pick to get him, and he's the one that forces the hold right there on Omiel. There's the day for, that's worse than last week for Todd Collins. He had an 8 rating last week at the Giants, 6.3 passer rating today.
Well, the best thing he did in the game, to tell you the truth, was hand off the ball to Matt Forte. That was the biggest offensive weapon in the first half. The ball back to the 19. And looking for running room was Chester Taylor. He didn't find any. And he's taken down. Let's check out the Lions. They're driving for their first win, right, Kurt?
And they're looking good doing it. Sean Hill hooking up with Nate Burleson. Burleson scores from 26 yards out against the Rams. And the Lions in firm control, 31-6. Looking for that first win in the 3rd quarter. And because I want to be respectful, I'll send it back to Samuel and Timothy.
Samuel.
Thanks, Kurt. From the 17 on 3rd and long, Haney throws the screen to Taylor, breaks 1 tackle, and the Panthers take him down at the 22-yard line. James Anderson makes the stop. Panthers defense has been strong and has helped keep them in the game. Jay Cutler can't do anything about the offense. He's out of uniform. He'll be back next week. Bears will take a 17-6 lead into the fourth quarter. Back in Charlotte, Brad Maynard's fifth punt of the game as we start the fourth quarter. Wobbly kick, Captain Munnerlyn fumbles it, muffed it, was able to fall on top, trying to get up and run, and the Bears pull him down at the 46-yard line. Sam Rosen, Tim Ryan here in Charlotte. Chicago Bears grab the early lead. They still have it. It's 17-6. Julius Peppers has the helmet back on, but he's on the sideline to start this series. Former great with the Carolina Panthers. Career leader in sacks, blocked kicks, forced fumbles. Toss it on first down to D'Angelo Williams. Two men converge. Brian Ewu, number 52, who's replaced the injured Lance Briggs. Briggs has stayed out. He's got an ankle injury, and Brian Ewu replacing him. Jennings helped out on the tackle as well.
We talked earlier about first down and the inability to really move it on first down. Look at what's happened today. Chicago 6.6 yards on first down. Carolina 1.5. Pretty amazing number again when you think of how first down really relates to the rest of the drive.
Off the play fake. Clausen in trouble. They've got him. Tino Samoa. The ball came loose. It's ruled down. It's ruled down by Mike Carey. Pisa Tino Samoa with a sack on Jimmy Clausen. And the Bears always looking for the football and always looking for something to return on defense.
Very good job by Tino Samoa. He's going to come here. He's going to go head up with the fullback, Tony Fiametta. Gets right to the edge, gets rid of him, and then gets himself the sack right there. Very, very good find. He was hurt last year, most of the year. Of course, Lovey knew him from the St. Louis days. And he's come over here to Chicago. He's given him a big shot in the arm, Sam, on defense.
Fourth sack of the game for the Bears. They had 4 coming into this game total. And more pressure and another sack. It's Israel Adonijah with his second of the game and third of the season. So the Bears, with back-to-back sacks, push the Panthers back from the 47-yard line back to the 26.
I'd love to be the guy on the other side of Julius Peppers. I would absolutely love it. Look at that number. Have not scored a TD on a drive when allowing a sack. 0 for 12. And you could say that about a lot of teams around the NFL. But Julius Peppers coming unblocked that time, forced Clausen to run to the right of Donijah, who also beat his guy sitting right there waiting for him.
Baker with the kick toward the sideline. Hester takes it inbounds. Gets by one man. And this time the Panthers swarm him and take him down at the 27-yard line. 49-yard punt. Pressure on Jimmy Clausen. Adonijah is there for the Bears' 5th sack of the game. On your left in the baseball cap is Rod Marinelli, the defensive coordinator, but he's always coaching up the defensive linemen.
He's pretty happy today with the sack numbers, I can guarantee you that.
Matt Forte on first down with a good gain up to the 32-yard line.
Rod is wall-to-wall ball. I mean, he's one of those guys all ball all the time. He loves the game. He's been a head coach with the Detroit Lions, as we know. But you think of what Julius Peppers talking about him. He said, Rod's always got something. He's always coaching it up, and just talked about some of the things that Rod always tells him. He said, number one, you have to have get off. Number two, you better have your move area. And number three, you got to finish. He said Rod's helped him out quite a bit with his football intelligence this year.
Haney out of the shotgun, hands to Forte as the Bears keep it on the ground. Forte gets 4, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
And talking football intelligence, you know, that's underrated in this league. We all talk about, you know, everybody's got physical ability. Sam, this league, 80% of it's from the neck up. And when you got football intelligence at every position, whether you're O-line, D-line, perimeter guy, it doesn't matter. You know what to anticipate based on formation and on your scouting report. And Rod has certainly helped that.
Chester Taylor in. It's his 3rd and 1 for the Bears. Taylor behind Manumaluyuna. First down. Good block by Manumaluyuna. Dan Connor made the tackle, but Chester Taylor gets a first down, and the Bears needed that offensively just to get something going. And they have struggled with their offense here in the second half. It had been 3 3-and-outs for the Bears with an interception on their first 4 possessions.
You see the orange line here, Sam? This is 5 yards. This is what every offense shoots for in pro football on first down. Defense trying to keep them short of that. Offense trying to achieve it.
Taylor gets that 5 yards and a little more.
Yeah, and now look, you got 2nd and 1 or 2nd and 2.
Pick up to the 48-yard line. Charles Godfrey on the tackle, but the Bears going back to the running game, which has been effective for them. Close to 200 yards rushing in the game. Mike Martz probably with some encouragement from the head coach, Lovie Smith, because when things go bad, Lovie goes to the run game. He feels much more comfortable with that, and things went bad for the Bears last week.
Yeah, that was clear. Lovie didn't know how many sacks there were. It looked for a deep shot here. It's really a throwaway down at 2nd and 1 here. Let's see if they take one deep and try to put a shot in the end zone.
3 wide receivers in. Hand it to Forte. He's got a first down into Panthers territory. Time to update the Falcons and the Browns. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Atlanta loves defensive end Troy Bierman, and here's why. Blocks the Jake Long pass, intercepts it, and then gets up and runs it in for a 31-yard score. What a play. Falcons on top of Cleveland, 20-10 in the 4th quarter. 7-10.
He looked like Tim Ryan on that play.
Bierman. Troy Bierman.
Oh, man.
Smitty, Mike Smith has got those guys really playing good football collectively as a team this year.
It's a good race developing in the NFC South. Bears with a first down at the 49. A little toss to Forte. A couple of blocks. He's hit down hard. Good tackle by Richard Marshall and Nick Hayden.
Nick Hayden's playing the best game I've ever seen him play as a Carolina Panther. It's not even close. Guy was a late draft choice, came in here last year. They've been looking to upgrade that interior on their defensive line. Really, since Chris Jenkins left, you think of the defensive tackle play here with the Carolina Panthers has been subpar. Nick Hayden, I'll tell you, he's having a dynamite game here today for the Panthers.
Bears running the ball, controlling the clock now with an 11-point lead. Keeping the ball away from Carolina. Bears have rushed for 203 yards in the game. Blitz coming. It's Chester Taylor, but he ran right into Dan Connor. And the tackle made at the 45-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down for the Bears.
Nick Hayden in the mix again on that one? Sure was.
Probably was. Hayden 6'4", 292, his 2nd year out of Wisconsin. He comes to the sideline.
Now it's time to rush the passer.
That's
Nick.
right.
You're out.
3rd and 6. Bears have to get to the 39 for a first down. Taylor in the backfield, 3 wide receivers. Haney gets time. Good blocking, and he finds a man, Johnny Knox. Knox stays in bounds. Good move by Johnny Knox. Stays in bounds and gets a first down. The clock keeps moving, and Haney with a nice throw to Johnny Knox.
Johnny Knox can absolutely fly. He averages over 20 yards a catch. Inside receiver is going to go this way. Look at the cushion here. He's going to go here, and he's just going to eat it up and come right back inside. Look at that. Just a little pivot inside and back to the outside. Captain Munnerlyn worried about the deep speed. And Knox is able to exploit the coverage.
Chester Taylor with a good block, giving protection to Caleb Haney. 13-yard pickup. Johnny Knox's first catch of the game. It's Taylor for a couple of yards just inside the 30-yard line.
I asked Mike Martz last night, and we all know Mike with the greatest show on turf, and Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt and Ozakeem and Kurt and all those, Marshall Falk, all those guys. And we know how hard Mike is on receivers. I said, which one of these guys is ready for what you're throwing at him? And he goes, there's no question Johnny Knox has arrived. This guy is ready. You see the number there, highest percentage in the NFL, 6 of 12 over 20 plus. And I think with Mike Martz and his system, you better have the stamina to run routes all day. Very excited they are about Johnny Knox.
Out of the shotgun, Forte back in. Off the play fake. And Haney is bowled over by Richard Marshall, blitzing from the left cornerback position. I don't think Haney was expecting that. Third sack of the game for Carolina.
I'll tell you what Haney was expecting was Aromashadu on the hot route on a little pivot route, but Aromashadu fell down. So he went to pull the trigger, the receiver fell down, ended up taking the sack from the slot blitzer.
Bears 3rd and 15, have to get to the 22 for a first down. Forte in the backfield, 3 wide receivers. And false start on the Bears. So the sack.
False start. Offense 73. 5-yard penalty is still 3rd down.
The sack and the penalty throw the Bears back. And we want to alert you that you can go to NFL.com's Game Center for Week 5 live game stats, fan discussions, in-game video highlights, and more. Only at NFL.com/scores.
Look at Detroit right here.
And looks like win number 1 for the Lions.
Vast improvements for that football team.
Haney uses a timeout. That's the last timeout for the Bears here in the second half. It's a 3rd and 20 for the Bears. Mike Tice had to pull the offensive line back together. A couple of new people in the lineup starting today, and he's still missing Chris Williams, but Chris Williams is close to coming back, maybe next week. Here's the 3rd and 20. Haney throws it up deep for Knox. It's incomplete. He was one-on-one with Captain Munnerlyn. And the Bears send out the punting unit with 6:49 to go. One thing the Bears did not want to do is make a mistake and give the ball back to the Panthers in good field position.
Think of what the Bears have done here in the second half. 188 yards in the first half. Sam, in the second half here, 47 total yards of offense for Chicago.
And it's a combination, lack of execution by the Bears, but the Panthers defense also picked up their play. There's Maynard with time. Captain Munnerlyn, fair catch at the 14-yard line. He complains that Rasheed Davis grabbed him. The Panthers want a flag. The officials say it wasn't anything serious. All right, there's Captain Munnerlyn.
There's the wave for the fair catch. Nah, there's nothing wrong with that.
It was a little hug. It was a little hug.
Just loving him up a little bit.
But Munnerlyn working the officials, trying to get a flag. Panthers have the ball at their own 15-yard line, down by 11.
Think about this. In this game, passing yards. Carolina's got 28 through the air. The Bears have 29.
Mike Goodson, rookie running back with a lot of speed, is in the backfield. Clausen, quick pass behind LaFell. Don't forget, NFL on Fox next week. We've got a Fox doubleheader coming your way. Seattle will be in Chicago to play the Bears. Cowboys and Vikings. Also early, Atlanta's at Philadelphia. Late game, Dallas at Minnesota. It all begins with the all-new Ford Edge Drive 1 pregame show beginning at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, right here on Fox. Jimmy Clausen. And again, a bad pass. Again, lack of communication with Brandon LaFell. This time he was going down the field. He was looking, Clausen was looking for the out pattern.
No, there is no chemistry between these two guys at all. It's obvious. Struggles today, 6 first downs, 53 yards in penalties, 28 passing yards, and 5 sacks.
Yep. Not much going offensively. 113 yards total offense for the Panthers. We've had only 2 field goals. Armani Edwards is in. As they bring in 3 wide receivers. Clausen. Blitz was picked up, but he throws incomplete. The accuracy just not there. Try to get it to David Geddes. No accuracy on any of the 3 passes he threw in that series.
There's no rhythm, there's no timing, and there hasn't been all day long. Now, Clausen did make a couple of big plays last week against New Orleans late that kept him in that game. But it's, frankly, it's just been ugly today in terms of the ability to have an impact through the air.
And all season long, Panthers have not scored any points on offense in the 4th quarter. They have 2 points on a safety. 9th punt of the game for Jason Baker. Devin Hester, chance to return from the 35. Trying to get outside. He does. Barnage. Gary Barnage, the tight end, pushed him out of bounds at midfield. Boy, every time Devin Hester gets his hands on the ball inbounds, the excitement mounts. Julius Peppers in his return to Carolina. This is where he grew up, right outside of Charlotte. Went to the University of North Carolina.
I love people that say he doesn't have a motor and he doesn't hustle, and the perception is he shuts it down. That could not be farther from the truth. You know, there was a couple of rough spots where he wasn't playing great, maybe in 2007. But he lines up everywhere. You see he's done most of his damage over at left end today. He had the batted ball and the interception over there.
Matt Forte, short pickup down to the Carolina 49-yard line.
But I think in this league, the best teams, certainly the best defenses, are the ones that have a 4-man rush. And it's a huge benefit when you can pressure a quarterback by only rushing 4. The fearsome foursome there are the Rams. The steel curtain of the Steelers had 4 guys that came after you. The purple people eaters in Minnesota. Sapp and Rice down in Tampa. Freedy and Mathis in Indianapolis. Jared Allen and Kevin Williams in Minnesota. And you got Julius Peppers, and who else? Where's the second guy?
No.
And Adonijay's been the guy today, but you feel that, you hope Tommy Harris can get it figured out. I know they're excited about Henry Melton. Maybe Peppers is going to need some help.
Maybe Corey Wooten. Good run for a first down by Forte. Great game for Matt Forte. Matt Forte has had a career day. On defense, we mentioned Israel Adonijay.
He may be the running mate. There's 1 sack. Here's the 2nd sack. And Israel coming into the game today with 8 career sacks. He gets 2 of them. He may be that other guy that Pep needs to take pressure off Julius Peppers. Otherwise, you just turn 2 and 3 on Pep and not worry about any of the other guys.
Matt Forte, 21 carries, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's, to me, is the biggest lift for the Bears, is to see him break out.
No doubt.
Chester Taylor with a good run as the Bears play ball control, wind the clock down with their 11-point lead. Chester Taylor is pitched in. Over 40 yards rushing in the game. Mike Martz, after last week, he took the blame upon himself. He felt in a short week, they had played on Monday. In a short week, he gave his guys too much. Some of the young players, it was too much for them to handle. And he said, we just try to push too much.
Well, the way they were in that game, I mean, you would have thought it was 50-0 the way they were playing it early against the Giants with all the deep passes.
Oh, good play by Dan Connor, the middle linebacker, as he wrapped up Chester Taylor before he could get going. Brings up a 3rd down for the Bears. Panthers defense, after a slow start, a couple of big returns by the Bears set up the touchdowns, but the Panthers defense pulled itself together and has done a good job in this game, and they've kept the team in the game, but the offense has been non-existent.
And they'll be a much different team, as you know, with Jay Cutler back at the helm and with his skill sets and really what he is offensively. So they'll feel good about the running game, leaving here and back to Chicago and getting their stud quarterback in Jay Cutler, who Martz did not have enough superlatives in describing him yesterday in our meetings with Mike.
They've worked well together outside of last week, but the first 3 games, very good. Cutler's quarterback rating is over 100, 3rd best in the league. And his interceptions have been down. He's played very well under Mike Martz, and they seem to have a good rapport together.
Yeah, and he's accurate. He's smarter than people think. His completion percentage also is, like I said, accurate, up at 67%.
2 tight ends in, 3 tight ends in. Kellen Davis is in it to the 3rd. Forte looking for running room. But the Panthers are all over it, led by Charles Johnson with help from the middle linebacker Dan Connor. There's Charles Johnson. He's been busy today. The Panthers use a timeout, and both teams are out of timeouts in the game. Next weekend on FSN, it's a college football Saturday triple header. We've got number 22 Missouri taking on Texas A&M. We've got a Pac-10 showdown, Cal meeting USC, and Iowa State goes up against number 7 Oklahoma. College football Saturday next weekend on FSN.
I'll tell you, John Fox has got to be thrilled with how his defense has played today. And I know they gave up a couple of big pops early, but they've gotten that shored up. They've gotten the turnovers with 4 interceptions. Not happy, I'm sure, about his special teams. Offensively, so much youth. John will just keep grinding it out.
Career-long try for Robbie Gould, a 53-yard field goal attempt. On the way, it's got the distance, and it is good. Robbie Gould matches John Casey.
Plenty of leg there. That one could have gone 57, 58.
Easily. Third career, 50 yards or more for Robbie Gould. Oh, man, he got it up.
It's another unbelievable when you think of how long these field goal attempts are and how they're able to get them up and get air underneath them.
You know what? The conditions are near perfect. There's no wind, and it's just been a great day here. And Gould with a strong leg ups the lead back to 14 for the Bears with 3:36 to go. It's a 20-6 Chicago lead. Bears will be home next week to take on the 2-1 Seattle Seahawks, who have a bye this week.
And you know, that'll be a good test with Seattle, because one area where Seattle's darn good is in their run defense. Be interesting to see if they have a commitment to it next week against a group that's effective in that area.
Gould's kickoff into the end zone, and they take a knee. Mike Goodson was thinking about running it out, but under advice from Robert McBain, took the knee. Jimmy Clausen stays on the sideline. Matt Moore comes into the game. So a quarterback change at the end of the game here for John Fox. Matt Moore took over last season when Jake Delhomme was injured, did a good job as the Panthers played well down the final stretch of the season. Starting this season, Matt Moore came to training camp. He was the number 1, but got off to a bad start. Offense didn't get anything going, and Jimmy Clausen took over. But here's Matt Moore in the game. Under pressure. Lets it fly, and the ball is caught out of bounds. Incomplete. Caught by Armani Edwards.
Gotta love that bailout throw by Matt Moore, though. Off his back foot. Guy's hanging around him. He lets it go on the deep corner route. Edwards couldn't get it, but you know, interesting switch here late in this football game. Back to Matt Moore. And I know it wasn't good for Jimmy Clausen today, but it sounded like, just in talking to those guys on Friday in our meetings, that Jimmy was going to be the guy headed forward.
Jimmy Clausen didn't show much today at all. 9 for 16, 61 yards, 1 interception. The accuracy was off. Goodson in the backfield on 2nd and 10. Short drop pass off the leg and intercepted. Intercepted by Brian Urlacher. Was off the leg of Armani Edwards. And an alert play by Brian Urlacher gives the Bears their 2nd interception of the game.
Well, outstanding read from the neck up by Matt Moore. Bad throw on the execution. The slant's right here with Armani Edwards. What's the location of the football, Sam? Right at the right thigh pad. Now, he still should have caught it. It was down right above the right thigh pad. Had his hands down there, but the way it hit and caromed up in the air, Urlacher was right there waiting for it.
So the Bears defense, which has done a good job in the game, comes up with a takeaway at the Carolina 23-yard line. Urlacher's 18th career interception. Chester Taylor ran into a bunch of Panthers. He's taken down, led by Ed Johnson, who has an interception in the game. Neither team has any timeouts remaining. Urlacher continues his good play. Lance Briggs went to the locker room, I think maybe to get x-rayed. His shoe was off as he walked in to the locker room. He suffered a sprained ankle earlier. Have a look at Matt Moore along the sideline.
Wait, 30!
There's Taylor, and right on him was Derek Landry. There's a flag on the play.
Illegal formation. Offense only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Is declined. Third down.
Indianapolis Colts and the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Only touchdown of the game scored late in the fourth quarter, and it was a big one. Mike Hart turning a 12-9 lead into a 19-9 Colts win. They hand the Chiefs their first defeat of the season. Sam and Tim?
Thanks, Kurt. Chiefs come out of the bye week. No touchdowns. Indianapolis with a big win. Colts are 3-2. Chiefs are 3-1. Kellen Davis motions on third down. Caleb Haney with a toss to Chester Taylor. And he's wrapped up again. Derek Landry with the tackle. He'll bring up a fourth down.
Impressed how Derek Landry's played today. We had the play right before this one on the illegal formation. He had a nice tackle as well. Guy who started in Jacksonville, ended up here in Carolina, now a starter on the inside. He's played well, really since those first big pops in the first quarter. The whole defense has really played well. Nick Hayden has played well.
Coming down to the 2-minute warning with the Bears leading 20-6. Great respect, great admiration for one another. John Fox and Julius Peppers.
Now these guys are tight. Despite what you've ever read or heard, these guys have a lot of love, a lot of respect for each other. Peppers and Foxy.
Robbie Gould will attempt a 43-yard field goal. Brad Maynard the holder. Gold on the way, and it's inside the upright, and it's good. Strong leg for Robbie Gould. And the Bears, whose offense had stalled after a real good start, have gotten a couple of field goals late from Robbie Gould to make it 23-6 and put this game out of reach. Don't forget, we've got the post game brought to you by AT&T. Back in the studio, Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy will break it down for you. Scores, highlights, analysis, and the Fox Sports ticker. Check out your fantasy team and how your players are doing. Good return for Julius Peppers. He's happy. Israel Adonijay helped him out with a good game, but the teammates acknowledge they know that this was an important game for Julius Peppers, coming back to his home territory.
Yeah, and I think they knew it was an important game for themselves based on what happened Sunday night in New York against the Giants. And got to love the way they've responded, no doubt. Defensively, they were outstanding today, getting after the quarterback, getting the sacks. Their run game was marvelous, best of the year. Passing game, though, still need a lot of work.
Yeah, but they'll have Jay Cutler back next week. Jonathan Stewart didn't get much going for the Bears. They will go to 4-1 as Gould kicks it off. Goodson near the sideline, and it bounces out of bounds, and the Panthers get the ball to the 40. Bears will go to
out of bounds. The ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. First down.
They'll be 4-1. The year they went to the Super Bowl, they started the season 7-1. So whether it's been pretty or not, the record is still there.
Yeah, they're not going to apologize for being 3-1, and I think Levy does it the right way, as most coaches do. He looks at the season in blocks. They got through the first 4 games at 3-1. They're going to be 1-0 headed into the second quarter of the season.
Green Bay is tied in Washington 13-13. So the co-division leader is struggling.
And loaded with injuries. That's the thing with the Packers right now that you got to worry about if you're a Packer fan.
And Minnesota 1-2 plays at the Jets tomorrow night. Pass complete to the tight end Jeff King. He's brought down at the Bears 45-yard line. Nick Roach in at linebacker, made the tackle. Matt Moore is the quarterback for the Panthers. Both teams are out of timeouts. That last game was 14 yards. Panthers have a bye week next week. The Bears will be home against Seattle. Moore throws short to Jeff King, and he's brought down. Short gain on the play.
Tell you, that's one thing when you look at his defense. Always terrific tacklers. Daniel Manning right there. They're going to send the pressure, force you to get it out underneath, and then they just rally up and are such sure tacklers.
Everybody out. Moore throws. Nobody there. Both rookie receivers, LaFell and Geddes, cut inside.
Yeah,
they went the same route.
There's been mental errors from these young wideouts, these rookie wideouts all day today. And Brandon LaFell has had a few. He's had some drops as well. He was their high pick now coming out of LSU, and even Jimmy Clausen told us the other day, he said, we got to get LaFell involved early. We got to get his confidence up. Clearly that's something he's lacking here early in the season.
Corey Wooten is in at defensive end on the right side. This is his NFL debut. After being inactive the first 4 games, short pass is complete to David Clowney. Clowney down to the 40-yard line. Panthers can't stop the clock. 1 minute remaining in the game. Moore works out of the shotgun. Jeff King is wrapped up by the safety Chris Harris. The former teammates when Harris was here for 3 years. So the Bears bounce back after a horrible game last week in New York. They will win this one. That pass juggled by Geddes. He holds on. He's brought down by DJ Moore. Clock running.
Clock it.
And it's spiked by Matt Moore. 14 seconds to go. Our producer is Mike Burks. Our director is Greg Scopatoni. The associate director is Tom Yohe. Broadcast associate Matt Saldana. The studio show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The associate director is Stephanie Medina. The highlights coordinator Janice Casaza. The studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons. Spotter in the booth is Gary Lynn. And our statistician in the booth is Emmett McGuire. Post game brought to you by AT&T. Coming up next, stay tuned. Mike Goodson, the running back, splits out. Empty backfield. They'll send 5 receivers down the field. Moore throws, and it is intercepted. Intercepted by Charles Tillman. Goes to the ground, and the Bears get one more pick to wind it up. 3rd interception of the game for the Bears. 1 by Julius Peppers, 1 by Brian Urlacher, 1 for Charles Tillman. A lot of good things for the Bears. Return game was excellent. The running game was excellent.
And they got through with those 2 rookie offensive linemen over on the right side, Edwin Williams and Jamarcus Webb. And that will prove to pay dividends, I think, down the road.
Congratulations all around for the Chicago Bears, who are now 4-1. The Carolina Panthers, for the 2nd time in their history, go to 0-5. 23-6. Lovie Smith's team comes up with a win. Good return for Julius Peppers. We'll be back here in Charlotte in just a moment.